Well, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like Concord is struggling massively. And I know this is not really news to you guys, considering that the game currently has 67 players right now at the time of recording this particular video. But Concord players are waiting upwards of 8 minutes or more for matches. This was released about 9 hours ago from The Gamer, and it just keeps getting worse. You have people melting down on Reddit talking about why did they spend $40 on this, right? Which, again, I want to preface this. If you spend $40 on this game, you are stupid, right? There's no other way to put it. I can't make it nicer for you because that would be disingenuous, and I don't want to be disingenuous to you. You are stupid, and you're ignorant to the situation that's happening around you in terms of gaming. You probably should be getting involved in the conversation so that perhaps you can avoid wasting your money on bullshit like this.
It didn't do too well. It's gone.
Needless to say, ladies and gentlemen, this might be a spicy video. But again, Concord players are waiting upwards of 8 minutes for matches, and that's nobody's fault other than their own. So let's get into this video, guys. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. We got some key takeaways. It says Concord's rocky start includes a $40 price point, which I've said from the beginning has been probably the #1 biggest issue with this game. Why would you charge $40 for a video game that is being competed against by free-to-play mega games? Like, they're not even just small games. You're trying to compete against Overwatch. Well, honestly, Overwatch is not that much of a mega game anymore. But you're trying to compete against Valorant, which is a big esports game. You're trying to compete against both of these games, and they are free to play, my guy. Like, you are not doing things the right way by charging people $40 to join this game. Like, it clearly shows. The numbers are extremely small. And even if the game was free to play, this number will probably only be about 2,000. Even by allowing everybody in, nobody wanted to play this game. But at least with 2,000 players, you might have at least had some sort of a shot to try to garner favor with them, monetize them, and then eventually, hopefully, grow the fan base. But you put out a $40 fucking gate fee that nobody wanted to pay for a game that nobody wanted to play. It just didn't make any sense. Matchmaking issues plague Concord, with players waiting up to 8 minutes for a match and experiencing timeouts. Black Myth Wukong's successful launch contrasts with Concord's struggles, with the former hitting almost 2.5 million players on Steam. I'm actually shocked that The Gamer admitted that, considering that The Gamer never won. Like, if you read all The Gamer articles, you'll realize they're not very happy about the success of Black Myth Wukong. They'll talk about it, and they won't lie about it. They'll tell you the numbers, right? They'll definitely tell you numbers, but they're not going to sit there and pretend like they're happy about it. It's safe to say that Firewalk Studios Concord is off to a rocky start. That's an understatement. An unusual marketing campaign, without a doubt, very unusual. A $40 price point and entering a saturated market means the Guardians of the Galaxy-like hero shooter is struggling to find its feet. Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, this thing has been such a massive flop. I made a video earlier today talking about their announcement that they just made with apparently this character, Free Gunner Bass, being based off of this transgender male over here. You know, this is the marketing that they're choosing to do to try to save this game, and yet it's very clear that it's not working, right? I mean, 67 players is quite fucking pathetic. The game's poor launch is punctuated by its player numbers on Steam. The game peaked at 697 total players and is now struggling to hit even triple digits. As I type this, the game has 51 players on Steam, peaking at 103 in the last 24 hours. Considering you need 10 players to fill a lobby, there could be at most 10 games ongoing at any one time, providing everybody attempts to join a match at the same exact time. That is so fucking sad, bro. That is so sad. You have enough players to only fill 10 lobbies at any given time. You might as well just shut down. Just shut down. Just admit, take the hit, take the loss. Bro, this is one of the biggest L's I've ever seen in gaming. Just take the hit, man. Sony, PlayStation, take the fucking hit, admit you were wrong, and move on with your lives and try to do better next time. That's really all you can do if you can afford this fucking massive flop, because right now, this is a joke. By you continuing this game, as long as you are continuing it, you're not wanting to admit that you failed, this is a massive joke. It is a massive problem for you, and you need to fix it ASAP, bro. Some way, shape, or form. And fixing it would be shutting it down, honestly. This has, as you can imagine, caused issues with players joining the game, with the matchmaking process taking up to 8 minutes in many cases. Now, look at this. This is the funniest thing about this article. Over on Reddit, players are sharing their plight with Concord's matchmaking. There have been a range of times thrown around in discussion, but several players are reporting that they're waiting upwards of 8 minutes on the Central USA server with crossplay turned on, which is a damning indictment. It seems as though those waiting 8 minutes for a match might actually be the lucky ones, though. One player shared a screenshot of the game with an error stating matchmaking request timed out after 9 minutes, and another player reportedly waited over an hour for a match on the Southeast Asia server. One thread on Reddit had over 300 upvotes and 150 comments with people talking about the game's matchmaking. As one player pointed out, more people like this post than there are playing the actual game. Now, I've said this all the time. The modern audience, what they're going to do is they're going to give you a like, they're going to give you a retweet, and they're going to gaslight you into really thinking that you're going to have a successful game if you pander to them. That's what they do. And this is why this is so hilarious to me, because they're on Twitter right now as I speak doing that exact same thing. If you look at Concord posts will have, 1,000, 2,000, maybe even 3,000 likes. They'll have a ton of likes, right? Where are the players, though? Where are all those likes? Why didn't those likes translate to sales? Not even in the all-time peak, it hit as much as the likes and retweets. And that's because likes and retweets is the currency of an activist, right? These are the people who use that kind of stuff to try to gaslight others into thinking that they are the minority, when in fact, these people are the minority. The ones doing it, the modern audience, they're the minority, and it's very clear by the numbers. They are, in fact, the minority. We are the majority. There is no doubt about it. Black Myth Wukong will prove that to anybody. Black Myth Wukong has outsold every single DEI game on Steam combined. Literally, I'm not even fucking kidding. So again, you could sit there and try to pretend as if being woke is going to make you money, but it's not. It's really not. So at what point do we also sit down and say, okay, so if you want to be woke, fine. I've always said this, right? You guys can go to my other videos. I know my haters out there don't watch my videos and they have this opinion of me, but I've always said this in videos. You can go fact check it if you want. You want to be woke? Go be woke. That's perfectly fine. But at least when you be woke, can you at least be smart with business, right? I know being woke is inherently bad for business, but there are things that you can do to not only make people buy your game, but make them keep playing it, right? Baldur's Gate 3 is a perfect example, right? And I don't even consider Baldur's Gate 3 to be woke, because a character creator featuring all this other nonsense that allows you to make whatever the fuck you want has been around for ages. And the wokies are trying to claim that as, oh, you guys would say this is woke. No, I wouldn't say this is woke. Maybe other people would, but I wouldn't, right? Because you've been able to make your characters the way you have, the way you wanted for the longest time, right? Character creators in really established RPGs have been so diverse that you can make a fucking, I don't know, a big black tranny if you want, as much as you possibly want, and you could do whatever the fuck you want. So I never consider that to be woke, because that's inherently what an RPG is. The role-playing game you play is what you want. And some people make ridiculous fucking games, but the wokies have attached themselves to Baldur's Gate 3 because that's the only game that's successful that is even remotely considered woke, right? But Larian Studios, what they did was they focused on the story, focused on the gameplay. They use D&D, obviously, and D&D itself is a big establishment that will bring in a certain player base right off the bat. They knew how to make a video game, and they happened to make the character creator woke as shit in the meantime, but they knew how to make a video game, right? And just because you could fuck a bear, I don't even care about that. Ultimately, it was hilarious, don't get me wrong, but ultimately the game was a fantastic single-player RPG that had so much replayability, right, with the D&D aspect, that it kept people playing for ages. So there are ways to do this. Concord should have learned from a game like Baldur's Gate 3, but instead they wanted to focus on, oh, you get to know about the relationships and the stories of these extremely diverse characters. You can see yourselves in these characters. Aren't you so excited? No, nobody's excited at all, bro. There are people melting down on Reddit, not understanding why they spent $40 fucking on this game, and you shouldn't have. That was your biggest mistake. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.